Aggression!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, episode 12 of Ruthless Recap. I am joined by the Alex Reynolds to my John Silver, Damon.
What's up, everybody?
And the next big thing, Dean. Dean, how you doing?
You know, I feel like I'm doing pretty good today. I actually enjoyed this pay-per-view, and I'm actually interested to hear your guys' thoughts on it.
Well, that's good. We are here for our, I guess technically our third pay-per-view review, WWE Unforgiven 2002. Let's jump right into this, son of a gun.
Too much is not enough. Nobody said this stuff makes any sense. We're hooked again. The point of no return. See how the buildings burn.
WWE Unforgiven 2002, September 22nd, 2002, Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Dean, what was the number one song on the Billboard Top 40 this week?
Shit. See, this is the problem with being a loser like me. I don't know pop culture. Was it? Hey, so it's 2002. Was it? Was Justin Timberlake trying to bring Candy back?
If he was, no one cared yet because that's not it.
Okay.
Damon,
I legit have no idea. I'm sorry, guys.
Damon, what's the song?
Man, I can't even tell you, like, 2002 artists. Was it something Black Eyed Peas?
No.
Okay.
Actually, okay, let's say this. Give us a genre.
Oh, I don't know. Probably. I haven't listened to the song. Probably rap or R&B.
Okay, damn. Okay, tell us the artists. I know I'll probably give it away, but still.
It'll just give it away. I'll just tell you.
Okay.
It was Dilemma by Nelly featuring Kelly Rowland.
Really? Okay, you know, for some reason, I thought that song was older than that.
I've never heard that song in my life.
I straight up thought it was a 90s song. Okay.
Sure. What movies were in theaters at this time? Well, we already know one of them because it was the sponsor of Raw, Barbershop. Never heard of it. Signs. Remember Signs?
Yeah, it had, you know, that's one of those movies where, like, I enjoyed it for what it was, and then, like the reveal of the weakness came, and I'm like,
yeah, water?
Really? Like, what about water in the atmosphere? Like, it'd be like, and I'm stealing this from somebody else, but it's just a review I saw. Like, the person said, that'd be like if we decided to invade a lava planet naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have My Big Fat Greek Wedding and Spirited Away. These were all in theaters at the time.
Okay.
What video games were out? The original Kingdom Hearts had just been released 6 days prior. The first Sly Cooper and Tekken 4 would drop on Monday after Unforgiven. And this one will be close to Damon's heart. Spyro 2 Seasons of Flames would drop on the 25th of September.
Now, to clarify, Season of Flame was actually a Game Boy Advance game.
Was it?
Yes, because the actual Spyro 2 was Ripto's Rage, and that was I think that was released on the PlayStation back in the 90s, or like, I think that was like late 90s. Yeah. Season of Flame was like a random spin-off that I think I had Season of Ice, not Season of Flame, so that's a different story. Personally, in 2002, I was too busy playing Sonic Adventure 2, the GameCube port specifically.
Good shit.
Yeah, I sure. I don't know what games are anymore.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. You named all those games, and I'm like, damn, we're actually talking about things from that era I know about.
Yeah. We get a video package to kick off the show. It's some woman with like a witchy kind of voice running down the big matches and the storylines going into the show. She talks about Bischoff versus Stephanie, Brock versus Undertaker, and RVD versus Triple H. How did you guys feel about the Unforgiven set this year?
I liked it. I mean, it was like kind of simplistic, but different enough.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Like, it didn't really pop out to me, but I liked it enough.
For whatever reason, this stage feels more like the Ruthless Aggression era than the SummerSlam set did.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree.
And I think it's because they had used that SummerSlam set like a couple of times at this point.
Yeah.
Or at least something very similar.
At least this is before SummerSlam's colors sucked.
What, with like the orange?
No, like, yeah, I don't know. We're in the era of overly simplified logos. I'll just put it that way.
Oh, that's totally fair. Our first contest, the Un-Americans, all four of them take on Booker T, Goldust, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Kane. I separated Booker T and Goldust this time because they came out separately, which I thought was interesting. We get a light USA chant before any of the faces even come out. Goldust does get a pretty big pop because he's billed from Hollywood, California. The story of the match. Does anyone want to attempt to run down the story of the match? Because I have it, but
first the Big Show decided he was the greatest wrestler of all time.
No, that
and
is true.
Bubba Ray Dudley and him were feuding together, and that interlocked in the most epic, complicated storyline ever told, where Big Show left the story and the Un-Americans took their place. And then JBL got involved, but then he got injured, and then Booker T decided he wanted to be the most American. Goldust wanted to fight for his freedom, and then Bradshaw, I don't know, I guess he decided he was going to leave and go like start wearing cowboy hats.
So you're saying we need to invade Iran?
Yes,
Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
Yes, exactly.
The Un-Americans of Storm, Test, and Christian have been feuding with Bookdust ever since we started covering the shows in July of 2002. The night after SummerSlam, Kane actually returned from an injury to stop the Un-Americans from lighting the American flag on fire. 2 weeks before Unforgiven, William Regal joined the Un-Americans by screwing Kane and Bradshaw out of beating Storm and Christian for the tag titles. 6 days prior to Unforgiven, Bubba and Spike were cheated out of winning the tag titles themselves. All of this led to Booker T challenging the Un-Americans to this match on the go-home edition of Raw. Goldust and Christian start the match off. We get a loud USA chant. Lock up, and Christian gets the advantage with a knee to the gut. Whip reversed, and Christian is hit with a, she calls it the rear view. A gut kick, back bump, and a punch by Goldust for a 2 count. Christian with a knee to the gut, and Storm gets tagged in. Whipped to the ropes by both tag champs, and Goldust hits a double clothesline on them. Bubba's tagged in, and him and Goldust both hit the bionic elbow on Storm and Christian. It was kind of cool seeing Goldust do his dad's move. Bubba and Goldust punch Regal and Test off the apron, respectively. We get a jawjacker and a European uppercut by Storm to Bubba Ray Dudley. Punches in the corner and a choke by Storm. Whip reversed, and Storm is put into the tree of Joey Lawrence. 2 chops by Bubba, and Regal ducks a clothesline on the apron, but Christian actually gets hit with it. Regal punches Bubba in the back of the head. Storm has a whip reversed, and Bubba hits a flapjack for a 2 count. Goldust tagged in, whip reversed, and Christian trips up Goldust. Christian throws Goldust into the barricade, then back into the ring, and Test gets tagged in. Back elbows in the corner by Test, and then some stomps.
Test was like going crazy on these.
Yo, Test was actually like the best part of this match.
Yeah, I won't even disagree. I can't even disagree. I mean, I hate to rag on William Regal some more, but he just kind of was there again.
Yeah. Whipped to the ropes. Goldust ducks a clothesline, hits a flying clothesline of his own. Booker tagged in. He gets a big pop, punches the Test, whip reverse and a flying forearm by Booker. Regal comes in, gets hit with a shitty-looking super kick. Christian gets punched off the apron, and then Test just attacks Booker from behind.
What is it with? I'm sorry to interrupt. Like, what is it with Booker T and William Regal and like not doing good super kicks? Seriously, like it seems like every time he super kicks Regal, it looks bad.
I don't think Regal wants to take the back bump, brother.
Yeah, that's on Regal.
Yeah, I don't know. Whip reversed by Booker, and he hits a crescent kick, and that only gets a 1 count because Regal breaks it up. There's a weird moment after this where like nobody knows what to do, and Regal kind of just awkwardly whips Booker to the ropes. Booker holds on, and Bubba gets in while the ref, Nick Patrick, is arguing with the heels. Body slam by Bubba and a was-up headbutt by Booker.
Well, hang on. You know why Booker T was the one who did it though?
Because he's black.
Yeah.
Well,
you gotta have the black guy do it.
Well, yeah, because then Bubba's racist ass tells Booker to get the tables.
Exactly. See,
and then but then that's the weird part. I think he was just trying to show I think he was trying to assert his dominance because he tells Booker to get the tables, but then Bubba and Booker go to do it.
Yeah.
That was like a weird power play thing by Bubba. It was a little toxic to me.
That's the word of the day today.
Yeah. While the ref tells Bubba to, quit getting a table, Storm and Christian actually baseball slide the table into Booker's face. I thought that was a pretty cool spot.
Yeah, I like that because it actually felt like Bubba walked away from the table in a way that didn't feel forced. So Booker T getting the brunt of the bump felt actually like it made sense.
Yeah. Storm throws Booker back in the ring, and Test and Booker are the legal men. If you didn't remember,
Yeah, I forgot at this point. I'm not gonna lie.
I had to like pause and think for a second. I was like, wait, who were the legal guys like 2 minutes ago?
Like even when we get to the finish, I had to remind myself, okay, who's the legal people right now?
Yeah.
Especially at the end.
We get a "We Want Tables" chant in the corner, and some back elbows and punches by Test. Whip to the opposite corner and a clothesline for a 2 count. Regal tagged in and gets some forearms for a 2 count. We get a T-bone suplex by Regal for a 2. Christian tagged in, gut kicks, and a snapmare followed by a headlock by Christian onto Booker. Booker gets out of that with some back elbows, off the ropes, and a kitchen sink hits Booker T. And it's not even a 1 count. Goldust is already there to break it up. Whip to the corner, and Booker goes up and into a corkscrew roll-up attempt that gets a 2 count. Clothesline ducked and a spine buster by Booker. Both men are down at this point. Storm gets tagged in, and Kane gets the hot tag. Punches the Storm, whip to the ropes, and a back body drop to Storm. Punch to Regal and an uppercut to Test. Clothesline in the corner to Storm and a clothesline to Regal. Sidewalk slam to Test. And a tilt-a-roll slam to Lance Storm only gets a 1 count when Regal breaks it up. And then all hell breaks loose, and everybody's just brawling in the ring. And everyone is nice enough to quickly leave the ring so Kane and Regal can stay in there so Regal can get hit with a big boot. Kane ducks the big boot by Test. Kane goes for the snake eyes, but Test gets down and hits a really impressive pump handle slam. Like, Kane didn't jump up high enough for it, but Test fucking made sure he got up there for it.
Yeah, I actually watching that, it looked like Kane didn't really help much at all. It looks like Test really just had to like just hulk him up there.
Yeah. Test goes for a full Nelson slam on Booker, but Booker gets out with a kick to the gut, and he hits the scissors kick and a spin-a-rooney. Christian in and a reverse DDT on Booker. Goozle on Christian by Kane, but Storm breaks it up. Storm has his foot caught when going for the super kick. He spun around and goozled, but Christian low blows Kane, and then Storm hits his super kick, but only for a 2 count. Booker in, and he hits the side kick on Storm. Booker goes to sidekick Christian, but Christian ducks, and Booker is pushed out of the ring. Get a Bubba Bomb onto Christian. Regal punches Bubba out of the ring, and Regal follows him. The ref is distracted by Regal and Bubba on the outside of the ring, so Goldust uses this as an opportunity to hit the Golden Globes on Christian.
You know, that's still one of those moves I look at, and I'm like, I question, like, it seems like how legal it is depends on whether the referee's watching or not.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, like, it seems like the way Goldust was doing it, it was implied that it was illegal, but like other refs have seen it plenty of times. Like Goldust never had to hide it before. I don't know. I still have weird feelings about that move.
That's fair. Test hits a nasty looking big boot on Goldust. And then I was a little confused here. I put flying clothesline to Test, and I was like, there's 12 people in this fucking match. I don't know who did it. Kane did. We get an awkward pause while Storm and Kane just kind of stare at each other.
Yeah, I thought maybe like Storm was like trying to like position for the super kick, but I kept waiting like, okay, he's gonna kick him now. He's gonna kick him now, kick now, but it just kept delaying and delaying.
I'm pretty sure Regal missed his spot because Storm misses the super kick and then Kane chokeslams him, and then Kane just randomly punches Regal and then covers Storm to win.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what? I think Regal missed something.
I hate that we have to keep saying negative things about William Regal.
Yeah, because he's really fucking good most of the time.
He's not been good since we started watching, though. That's the sad thing.
Yeah. Bubba pulls the American flag out from under the ring, and the faces celebrate with it. How'd you guys feel about this match?
Sorry, go ahead, Damon.
I was just gonna say, it's better than I thought it would be. Like, I didn't give much of a shit about any of this, but I can't hate on the match too much.
Yeah, I don't care about this storyline at all. I don't care about this feud. Honestly, I would probably care more about Booker T and Goldust if they were doing something else. But at the same time, for the match by itself, I thought it was pretty good.
It was fine. Regal was really bad, like we've talked about. He was super sloppy. There was a couple of weird spots where people didn't know what to do. Test looked like a fucking beast in this match.
Oh yeah.
And the table never even got used.
Well, see, that's the other sad thing about being Bubba Ray is like, you can't escape the table thing, but you can't use tables in a regular match. So what the hell do you do?
Post-match beatdown.
Yeah, pretty much.
We cut backstage and we see Stephanie McMahon. She's talking to someone or some people off screen. She tells them that when they beat Rosie and Jamal tonight, it's more than just a victory. It's about pride, respect, and redemption. That's when Billy jumps in and says, it's so you don't have to French kiss a lesbian tonight. And Chuck says when Raw loses, Eric can kiss Stephanie's ass, and Stephanie likes that.
I still just don't feel like Eric Bischoff loses in that scenario.
Oh, he loses. Don't worry. He fucking loses.
Well, yeah, but yeah, we'll get there.
Our next contest, Chris Jericho takes on Ric Flair for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Why was the champ out first?
Because he's Ric Flair, man.
No,
Ric Flair's a 16-time champion. He always comes out second, man. Unless he doesn't.
Yes. Story of the match, Flair defeated Jericho last month at SummerSlam, and since then, Jericho has talked about getting his redemption against Flair. When Jericho actually won the Intercontinental title from RVD on the Go Home episode of Raw, Jericho said he was finally ready for his rematch, and here we are. Flair got the purple boots on.
Yeah.
Nothing. I like them. I think they're cool.
I like them too. Sorry, I thought you were gonna say more. Yeah, I like the purple boots too.
Yeah, dig it.
We get a lockup, and Jericho and Flair jockey for position in the corner. Jericho smacks Flair in the face, and Flair actually retaliates, which gets Jericho off of him. Lock up, and Jericho with a headlock off the ropes and shoulder tackle by Chris Jericho. Flair drops down, and then Flair throws Jericho over the top into the apron. Jericho up top, and he goes for the nothing, and Flair punches him in the gut, and he punches Jericho in the gut so hard he takes a flip bump off of it.
See, I'm laughing because you said he went for the nothing, but like that's just a thing people do sometimes where it's like, oh, I need them to counter me coming off the rope. Let me go for nothing.
Bro, like literally what is stopping them from just putting their fucking hands together like a double axe?
It would actually make it at least look somewhat plausible.
Yeah. We get some chops by Flair, whip reverse, and Jericho goes for a drop kick, but Flair catches the legs and goes for the figure four. But Jericho boots Flair off into the outside of the ring, and we get the triangle drop kick by Jericho. Jericho to the outside, and he's punching Flair. Flair's thrown back in, and Jericho goes up top and hits a missile drop kick for a 2 count. He starts slapping around a downed Ric Flair. Choke on the ropes by Jericho. He does that. I still don't know what you call it. That flying hip attack.
Well, see, also before that, I noticed like he did this thing where he was like holding Rick on the ropes, but he wasn't like pulling up on the middle rope and pushing Rick down. He was pulling up on the bottom rope, which Rick wasn't even touching. And I kept looking at him like, that doesn't look like it's doing anything, Chris.
Chris Jericho is just such, like, he's so good with his 1004 holds that, like, you just couldn't understand how that move works.
Fair enough. Well, see, that's why we need to bring back Dean Malenko.
My man, Ciclo Pay. How do you feel about Jericho doing that foot shimmy dance?
Love it.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
I love it too, yeah. I love it too.
We get some punches in the corner, and then Jericho puts on a really shitty-looking abdominal stretch. I don't want this guy doing any submission if it isn't the fucking walls I've figured out. His submissions look like shit.
It's interesting because, I don't know, like, you would think he'd be a little better at that, but not really.
Yeah. Flair gets out of that abdominal stretch with a hip toss. We get some chops by Flair into the corner, an eye poke by Chris Jericho so Jericho can get the advantage back. Whip to the opposite corner, and Flair does that bump up and over to the apron. Flair ducks a clothesline and hits a punch of his own. Flair back in the ring, a chop, and Jericho goes headfirst. This was a crazy bump. Jericho, he's grabbed by the back of the hair, and Flair is running him to the corner, and he throws him, and like usually, you know, you'd hit your head off the turnbuckle pad. Yeah, Jericho decided to hit his head off the top of the turnbuckle post and bump to the outside. That shit was wild.
Yeah.
Flair to the outside, and he throws Jericho into the steps. We get a chop, and Jericho's thrown back in. Flair follows and hits the knee drop. We get a snapmare, and Flair actually goes to the second rope to hit a knee drop for a 2 count. Chop and punches in the corner. Whip to the opposite corner, and Jericho jumps up to the second rope just to get chop blocked by Flair. We get a back suplex into a knee breaker by Flair. He goes for the figure four, but Jericho reverses with a small package for a 2 count. Chop and whip reverse, and Jericho hits a back elbow. Jericho goes for the lion salt, but he lands on his feet, and he immediately grabs at his knee. And Jericho, he keeps telling Flair, get off me. And Flair isn't sure if he should keep wrestling or not. Referee Charles Robinson calls for trainers to come to the ring to check on Jericho. And as the ref and Flair waits for the trainer to come to the ring, Jericho just springs up. He puts Flair in the walls of Jericho to retain the Intercontinental title.
That dirty cheat.
How'd you guys feel about this match?
I want to hear Damon's opinion first.
That's fair. I'm trying to think back to their SummerSlam match, but this is probably the best showing I've seen from Flair so far during our little review, our little run. And honestly, I thought for the most part it was a pretty good match as well.
Damn,
Would you
okay.
put this match over Flair and Triple H for the title on Raw?
Oh, I would.
Really?
Yeah,
I would.
I would too.
I thought I actually really liked this match, believe it or not.
Really? Okay. I
Yeah.
didn't hate it. I thought it was decent. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was like 6 minutes, so it wasn't very long. I wrote here that I really like the story of Jericho out dirtying the dirtiest player in the game. Real simple. And it plays into that story they've been doing with Flair just not having it anymore.
And I don't know if this is true or not. I remember in Jericho's book, he talked about, like, at some point they were getting ready to have a match. I don't know if it was this match specifically. It might have not been, but it could have been, where Rick really just wasn't feeling it anymore. And he just felt like he couldn't do what he used to. And Chris Jericho has flat looked at him and said, "You're gonna cut that shit out. You're Rick fucking Flair." And
Yeah.
and that's like, and he's like, Rick's like, "Yeah, I needed to hear that. Thank you."
Yeah, I think Triple H actually has a pretty similar story. I guess it's kind of spoilers for later on throughout Ruthless Recap, but he says that the idea of putting them together and making Evolution was because he would see Flair sitting backstage just looking depressed as hell. Like, he didn't look like he wanted to be there. He knew he was getting old. And Triple H said he also had to kind of tell him, like, dude, you're fucking Ric Flair. Like, we know you still got more. You still have something to offer.
I mean, honestly, even at his age, like, he still wrestles better than most people could. I'm not saying I'm not saying he can put on matches he could 20 years ago, but he still can wrestle better than most people you could put in the ring.
Yeah. We cut backstage to Bischoff's office, and he's talking to 3 Minute Warning. He says that with what Jericho did to Flair tonight, it is their night tonight. Bischoff says that not only is 3 Minute Warning representing Raw, they're representing Eric Bischoff. He says that to make things even more in their favor tonight, he brought in the guy that knows Billy and Chuck better than anybody, and that would be Rico. So Rico will be in 3 Minute Warning's corner tonight. Rico says he knows Billy and Chuck inside and out, and Bischoff makes a goofy face because haha. Rico says 3 Minute Warning are prepared to beat Billy and Chuck, and Eric should get ready to eat popcorn and jerk his fucking cock while Stephanie performs HLA.
I don't think he was that.
Did he not say that, Dean?
He basically said it.
He literally said,
he was
get
a little more
some Vaseline and some popcorn.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. By 2002 standards, Rico's turned face now because he stopped. He started embracing the lesbians.
No, that's awesome.
I mean, I'm not saying he should be face. I'm just saying it's weird how he's like, now that he's more overtly heel, he's embraced the lesbian. I don't know. It seems weird for his
Dude, we'll
character.
fucking get to it. I have a whole paragraph of notes on that.
Okay, I gotcha.
For some reason, the show cuts to black after this segment, so there must have been some ad or something they took out. Because, like, pay-per-views don't ever really cut to black until the end. But we...
GTX.
Fuck, dude, I hope. We're back, and Cole and Taz are on commentary. We see an exterior shot of the Staples Center. They say that this is the first ever pay-per-view in the Staples Center.
I mean, like, if it's true, it's true, but that would be surprising to me.
How long has the Staples Center been around?
To the internet.
Staples Center. Says it opened in 99.
Okay, so actually, I could believe that because that's only a couple years after it first opened.
Yeah. We cut to the crowd and we see future AEW star and WrestleMania participant Shaquille O'Neal with his son.
Yeah, that was it's actually kind of weird seeing like certain celebrities this far back in time. Like
I've never
seeing-
seen Shaq look so young.
Yeah, like Shaq looks that young, and seeing his son too. It's like, geez.
Yeah. Our next contest, going over to SmackDown now. Eddie Guerrero takes on Edge. Story of the match: Eddie is still sick of everybody loving Edge and his pretty little face. At SummerSlam, Edge defeated Eddie Guerrero, and within the last few weeks, Edge has embarrassed Eddie by making him constantly eat ass. On the Go Home SmackDown, Eddie hit Edge in his pretty face with a chair and made him bleed. And that's what we're going into here. Edge tries to start things off hot in this match by chasing Eddie around the ring, but he just can't get his hands on Eddie. The match officially starts and Eddie immediately leaves the ring. While Edge is arguing with referee Jimmy Corderas about Eddie being just a little bitch, Eddie slides in the ring and he gets a schoolboy for the win. No, Edge kicks out of it too. Eddie to the outside of the ring again, and Edge follows, just for Edge to get stomped when he gets back in the ring after Eddie. Whip reverse, and Edge hits a back body drop, a flapjack, and some punches. Eddie gets some punches in of his own, and now Edge is in the corner. Punches by Eddie. Whip reversed, and Edge hits a power slam for a 2 count. Edge and Eddie are jockeying for a position on a vertical suplex when Edge finally gets it for a 2 count. Whip to the corner, and Edge goes for a spear, but Eddie gets the elbow up. And then he hits this beautiful second rope tornado DDT. That's kind of a turning point. And Eddie starts stomping him, and we get a brain buster for a 2 count.
Man, Eddie Guerrero is just fucking badass. I just have to say it.
Yeah, and then he does this crazy submission that, like, I don't know the name for. I had to, like, type out what the fuck he does. Eddie grapevines Edge's arms behind his own legs, like, behind Eddie's legs. And then he puts on a chin lock while he basically, like, uses his crotch to push down on Edge's head. Like, that shit was wild. I've never seen that.
I have to say, if obviously it's not his finisher, but like that move to me looks so good, I could believe it as a finisher. Like, because it looks like you wouldn't be able to, legitimately would not be able to escape from it.
Yeah, that's how Michael Cole and Taz were kind of selling it. They were like, how the fuck does Edge get out of this? Like, he's got nowhere to go.
But Edge has got those long Edge legs.
That's true. We do get a 2 count from the submission because Edge's shoulders hit the mat. Edge gets out by using his long legs to knee Eddie in the face. We get a back suplex by Eddie for a 2 count and a front face lock. We get some Eddie sucks chants. Eddie locks in a cravat headlock. Edge gets out of that with punches to the gut, off the ropes, and Eddie hits a thunderous back elbow. He fucking laid that one in.
Yeah, he did.
Stomps to a downed Edge. Eddie starts taunting Edge. He's like, come on, punch me, do it. And every time Edge tries to, he keeps missing. And
dude, that was fucking awesome. I'm sorry. Like, those dodges look so perfect. Like, perfectly timed.
And then Edge finally does land a punch, and Eddie sells it like he got knocked the fuck out. He fucking hit that mat. He crumpled. Both men down. That's funny. I guess not much happened because I literally put both men down, both men get up. Was it just like a count spot?
I guess, yeah. I guess they were both down for a little bit after that, yeah.
Edge goes to rush Eddie in the corner, but Eddie dodges and he starts punching Edge. Eddie just beats the dog shit out of Edge here. He's just throwing every punch, elbow, forearm he can. Choke in the corner using the boot by Eddie. And this just shows how fucking good Eddie was. While he's choking Edge in the corner and arguing with the ref, he like uses his body to block the ref from seeing him. He's starting to undo the turnbuckle already.
Mm-hmm.
And he's doing it in such a way where his body's blocking it, and he's kind of doing it with one hand while arguing with the ref. I thought that was great. Eddie tells the ref to kiss his ass. He like starts smacking his ass, and then Edge gets a schoolboy roll up for a 2 count. Edge then gets a small package for a 2 count. Eddie ducks a clothesline, but then gets hit with a neck breaker. Both men are down.
It actually, if I recall correctly, Edge like sold that. Like, his neck was still fucked up at that point when he did that neck breaker.
Yeah, so I typed that both men were actually down after this because Edge is selling his head from. They say on commentary that he got a concussion on SmackDown from the chair shot.
You can tell this is a pre 2007 world.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that. They would not be talking about concussions in this way now.
Yeah. And throughout the match, Eddie has focused on the head. He hit that brain buster. He hit the that tornado DDT. Both men get on their knees and they just start trading punches. 2 punches by Edge and a painful looking reverse atomic drop. It's the only atomic drop I've seen that actually looked like it fucking hurt.
Yeah.
He laid that in. Flying forearm off the ropes and that sit outside face buster for a 2 count by Edge. Eddie whipped to the corner and he goes up and over, but Edge reverses a suplex attempt and hits the Edge-O-Matic for a 2 count. Eddie gets a jawbreaker in, some punches. Eddie grabs the hand and he goes to run up that rope and probably do a head scissors, but Edge actually hits a really good-looking sit-out powerbomb for a 2. Off the ropes, and Eddie is up on Edge's shoulders, but Edge drops him face first into the turnbuckle. Edge misses the spear, but he hits the execution for a 2 count when Eddie gets his foot on the rope. Edge up top, and he misses a missile drop kick. Eddie finishes undoing the turnbuckle pad at this point, just to immediately get thrown into it and then speared into it.
It's beautiful.
Eddie is put up top, and Edge follows, but Eddie throws Edge face first into that exposed turnbuckle and hits a nasty-looking sunset flip powerbomb and grabs the tights for the win. What'd you guys think of this match?
That finish was fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be my first comment. Beautiful finish, as we've already said, or I guess Dean and Trent, either way. Eddie, amazing. There's a reason he's a fucking legend.
It's honestly sad how good he was, because then you think about the things he felt he had to do to get ahead.
Yeah,
unfortunately he was probably right, and that's the sad thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of... Go ahead, Damon.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and all I could think about while we were talking about this match, honestly, is like, we're not gonna get another Eddie Guerrero, not anytime soon, at least. Somebody with that caliber of greatness all around, it's gonna take a minute.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think that's also why sometimes when people like say this person's the next this person's the next Shawn Michaels, this person's the next Rey Mysterio, it's like, man, you can't make those comparisons almost ever, because it almost never works out.
Definitely. Eddie is another guy on this show. There's another person on the show. I specifically put it in my notes that, like, if they had come 10 years later, they would have been multi-time champs.
On top of the world.
Yeah, and like Eddie did hold the title for a little bit, and he was always prominently booked, but he was also roided the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean,
he was gigantic.
I guess one thing you got to keep in mind is that so much of Eddie's career, he was surrounded by dudes who were either fucking giants, or even when he was in WWF, like, think of all the years he spent where, like, ain't no way Eddie Guerrero, I mean, I hate saying it this way, but there's no way Eddie's getting on top of Stone Cold and The Rock are in the same company. It's not happening.
No.
Well, to be like, so Eddie was supposed to feud with Stone Cold.
Oh, really? Really?
So literally, I think it's like the last Raw Stone Cold's on before he, quote unquote, takes his ball and goes home. Eddie smashed a beer bottle over his head.
Oh, see, that's why Stone Cold left. He was scared to fight Eddie.
Yeah, he's like, I know Eddie's gonna fucking be so much more over than me, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
He's gonna stretch me, brother. I'm gonna go home, drink some beer.
No, I thought this was a really good match. These two worked very well together. I would say better than their SummerSlam match.
Oh,
I like their SummerSlam match, but that match felt a bit too slow for me.
Yeah, I think then they have like a match on SmackDown the next week too.
I was about to say that right after SummerSlam, they had a match on SmackDown, part of that Eliminator tournament. And I remember really liking that match, but it's also been like 10 months since I've seen it. So I don't remember if I would like that match better than this, but I feel like I probably would.
Unfortunately, because we're adults with adult obligations, we had to take that big break. And if we hadn't have had to, that'd probably be fresher in our mind.
Oh, definitely. And I'm sure, well, fuck, I can't go back and watch it because Peacock doesn't have SmackDown on the goddamn bullshit.
Oh, God.
I found it on the 7 Seas.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, let's just say that we're free men and we do what we want because we're free.
You damn right. We cut backstage and Triple H is walking into the Raw locker room. And he immediately sees RVD, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is weird. Not very often you see two guys interact on pay-per-view right before their pay-per-view match.
Yeah, especially if they're not going to like have a preemptive brawl.
Yeah, we see Ric Flair in the background. He looks very disappointed at himself. And Damon pointed this out. You can see Tommy Dreamer and Spike in the background. even further in the background, Spike is still wearing his neck brace.
Huh.
Nice little touch of kayfabe
Yeah.
there.
You know what? And I've said this before on other episodes, but like, I miss this I miss this era of WWE when they actually like made the backstage area feel like an actual locker room.
Oh
Like,
my god,
it's not
dude.
like this sterile environment where people always walk in and walk out in like the most obvious pre-rehearsed ways.
Dude, you're fucking preaching to the choir here, because like we get to see the Raw locker room here. We get to see the interview set area. We get to see Bischoff's office. We see Stephanie's office. We see catering at one point. And like nowadays, like every segment has to happen in one of three places: the ring, fucking that weird ring backstage where Alexa does her playground thing, and then like an interview set. Everything has to happen there.
My guest at this time, Wrestler X.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
RVD says, or I'm sorry, Triple H says that RVD is far too calm and collected to ever win a world title. And Triple H points to Ric Flair and he says that, you know, Flair used to have that burning passion, that fire, that desire to be world champion, but he doesn't have a damn thing now. Triple H says it's appropriate that RVD is getting ready for his match next to a loser like Ric Flair. And Flair, he gets up out of his seat and RVD kind of holds him back.
I'm not gonna lie, RVD low-key buried Ric Flair here.
Okay, dude, yeah. He says, Trips, you really came in to say all that, huh? And then he says, I would rather hang with a loser like Ric Flair than a winner like Triple H. The fuck does that mean, you nerd?
That just, if you're if I'm Ric Flair, I'd be like, what the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, no wonder what happens later happens,
Yeah.
dude. What the fuck?
Yeah. Especially because RVD, like, he actually, like, just took it upon himself to put his hand on Ric Flair. Like, nah, I got this. It's like, okay, dude, like, you know, I don't know. I guess, especially because they're wrestlers and wrestling is so testosterone fueled, the first thing I think is like, man, RVD might end up regretting this.
Yeah, Triple H just laughs at both of them and then walks away. We cut to a match graphic for Billy and Chuck versus 3-minute warning. Then we get a video package for this interpromotional matchup. And here we are, 3-minute warning take on Billy and Chuck in an interpromotional match. This match has like the biggest build on the whole show.
You actually are right. This is actually the longest running storyline on the show.
Yeah. So story of the match: Stephanie McMahon and Eric Bischoff have been feuding ever since Raw and SmackDown became completely separate brands. For the last 2 months, Bischoff has had his henchman, the 3-minute warning, Rosie and Jamal, jump anybody that Bischoff found annoying or boring on television. When Stephanie announced that Billy and Chuck would be having a quote-unquote commitment ceremony on SmackDown, Bischoff took that personally. So he decided, I'm going to have a same-sex controversy of my own called HLA, Hot Lesbian Action. He had 2 lesbians make out and touch each other on television. And that segment ended with 3-minute warning absolutely fucking killing them in the ring. And that was Eric Bischoff's way of proving a point to Stephanie. A huge swerve comes on SmackDown when Bischoff and 3-minute warning ruined an already ruined commitment ceremony, as Billy and Chuck admitted that it was all a publicity stunt anyway. They're not actually gay. And Rico turns on Billy and Chuck in that segment. He goes to Raw. This match also, on top of all that ridiculous build, has the stipulation that if Billy and Chuck win, Bischoff has to kiss Stephanie's ass. And if Raw wins, Stephanie has to perform some HLA live at Unforgiven. Yeah, it's pretty epic, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, mind you, we know what actually happens, but I still just think to myself, man, Eric Bischoff, I don't, if I'm Stephanie, I'm like, how about we change that stipulation so you actually lose in one scenario? But she swerved him. She swerved him.
Things start off hot with Billy and Chuck sliding in the ring to attack 3-minute warning. It doesn't actually work too well for him at first. And Rosie and Jamal just kind of beat him down.
Which, holy crap, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Chuck Palumbo and, I almost called him Billy Kidman. Billy Gunn are, they're fucking big dudes.
Yeah.
But like, Jamal and Rosie are, actually, Rosie especially is fucking huge.
Yeah, Rosie's real fat here.
God damn.
I can say it.
I was trying to be a little more diplomatic there, but okay.
Billy ends up clotheslining himself and Jamal out of the ring. Chuck gets some punches in on Rosie. Whip reverse, and Chuck reverses a body slam. He goes for a roll up, but Rico kicks Chuck in the face. Rosie with a big back suplex on Chuck, and they start the match off as legal men, Rosie and Chuck. Club to the back and clubs to the chest. Choke in the corner by Rosie, and Jamal gets tagged in. Jamal goes to rush Chuck in the corner, but Chuck gets the boots up. Kick in the gut, then a kick in the face by Jamal, and that gets a 2 count. Rosie tagged in, he's stomping Chuck down. Get a body slam on Chuck for a 2 count. And then Rosie kind of just starts like prying and ripping at Chuck's face. Chuck starts firing back with some punches, but he gets hit with a headbutt. Jamal tagged in, and a double headbutt by the heels, an elbow drop, and a 2 count. Punches to Chuck. Billy gets knocked off the apron. The ref and Billy argue, which allows the heels to stomp Chuck down. Rosie tagged in, and he starts taunting the faces. A body slam to Chuck, and a back elbow knocks Billy off the apron. Up to the second rope, and Rosie goes for a fucking moonsault.
Which, let me tell you, obviously it doesn't hit, and it looked like that landing fucking hurt.
Oh my god, that was insane. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know Rosie could do a moonsault.
I didn't know
and
either.
he put everything into that too. Like he launched himself, and that it's not like he was going to neck himself or anything. That was pretty crystal clear. A moonsault.
Yeah.
I think that would have killed him if it landed, though.
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
well, it would have killed his opponent, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Obviously, this is not hit. Chuck moves, and both men are down now. Jamal tagged in, and Billy gets the hot tag. Punches to Jamal and Rosie. Drop kick to Rosie. Rico's poked in the eyes, and a clothesline makes Jamal take the Rikishi bump. Billy goes to make the heels kind of headbutt each other like a double noggin knocker. But since they're Samoan, it doesn't actually hurt them. It actually fires them up, and they double headbutt Billy. I fucking love that spot. I
do
love that
too.
spot.
I love that, like, that's something that's been maintained over the years, that Samoans just, like, have harder heads in kayfabe.
Yeah, I think Rhea Ripley at one point had a match against probably Tamina. It's the only Samoan woman I can think of. And I'm pretty sure she even fucking sold it. She tried to headbutt her and immediately, like, grabbed her head.
And I actually remember, like, it was like Tamina's like first ever title match. This is honestly back when Tamina was like super green. Like people, like I admit, I thought she was going to be better than she was, and she wasn't. But even in that match, Beth Phoenix tried to headbutt her, and just like Beth Phoenix ended up hurting herself trying to headbutt.
Yeah. Chuck gets knocked off the apron by Rosie. Jamal goes up top for that Superfly splash, but Chuck fucking throws him over like halfway across the ring off the top rope. That was crazy. Billy goes for the one and only on Rosie, but Rosie reverses and hits a full Nelson spin out face buster. That was a cool move.
Oh yeah.
Super kick to Rosie by Chuck, then a super kick by Jamal to Chuck. Jamal throws Billy in the air for the Samoan drop, but Billy reverses and with a famouser. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was actually a really awesome famouser, I have to say.
Yeah, Rico comes in and he gets the dog shit clotheslined out of him by Billy. Billy laid that one in. Rico thrown out of the ring by Billy. Rosie whips Billy into a Samoan drop by Jamal for the win. Stephanie must perform HLA tonight. What do you guys think of this match?
You know, actually, you know what? Okay, I keep saying this, but I keep waiting to see when Damon's going to flip the script. So what do you think, Damon?
Not quite yet. Okay, so I think I share Trent's opinion that he'll probably give. I know he voiced it to me. 3-minute warning are probably better when they're just killing people. That being said, especially Jamal impressed the shit out of me. And hell, even Billy and Chuck had some pretty good offense. So again, I can't hate too much. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I actually like this match more than I thought I would. Partially just because I had a little bit of worry of like, okay, how good are 3-minute warning going to do in an actual match now? But at the same time, it was actually really good. I will say, yeah, Jamal is, and look, it's Jamal. It's kind of hard for him not to be. He's actually a really good wrestler. Jamal stood out more than Rosie, but at the same time, Rosie still has some really great spots. Billy and Chuck are actually a pretty good tag team. So overall, I actually like this match.
It was a little disappointing to me. I loved every 3-minute warning beatdown segment. They always did some real cool shit. And then we get to the match, and Rosie just body slams Chuck a million times, and we're doing elbow drops and headbutts. And it's like, I know you guys can do more, and we didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little disappointing to me.
But we got to see the world's greatest Samoan drop.
That's
is
true. Jamal does have a really good Samoan drop.
Like still I keep saying it every time, but I legitimately defy anyone to find me anyone who can do a Samoan drop better than him.
Oh, we cut backstage, and Bischoff is being interviewed by Jonathan Coachman. Bischoff says he knew 3-minute warning would come through. And speaking of that, and I don't know what that means. What? Because haha, come? Or coming through because he's accompanied by 3 very attractive women.
I didn't entirely get that, but okay.
Yeah, Eric is laughing while he's talking about how Stephanie will have to perform HLA in front of a capacity crowd. Coach asks Bischoff if he thought about who he will send out for this, as he has 3 ladies. Eric asks which of the 3 young, lovely lesbians, his words not mine, would like to sexually assault Stephanie tonight. And they all, quote unquote, beg for it. It's like, bro, like, my fucking dog could act better than these chicks. They're like, I want to do it. Please, I want. It's like, what the fuck?
Look, it's like, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but it's like some people can only act with their tits. That's all they know how to act with.
Jesus fucking Christ, Dean.
Just saying, that's some people, that's the only way they know how to act.
Damn.
Put that on a goddamn t-shirt and sell it. Bischoff starts an HLA chant. JR is pissed that a member of the McMahon family will have to do this, and Lawler says he liked the one wearing the pink.
Mm-hmm. I would just like to thank Jim Ross for taking this seriously as much as he can.
We get a match graphic for Triple H versus RVD for the World Heavyweight title, and we get a video package for Triple H and RVD. Our next contest, Rob Van Dam takes on Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. Story of the match. On the September 2nd edition of Monday Night Raw, Triple H was awarded the World Heavyweight Championship, and ever since then, everybody has wanted a shot at the title. RVD actually pinned Triple H in a tag match the following week, and then won a 4-way dance to become the number 1 contender. On the Go Home episode, Triple H screwed RVD out of retaining the Intercontinental title against Jericho. Triple H has repeatedly said that RVD is not championship material, and RVD wants to prove him wrong. RVD literally poses with the title before the match.
Well, it's about as close as he's going to get for another couple years.
Hey, gabagoo. Lock up and RVD with a side headlock takeover. Head scissors by Triple H. Both men up, and they kind of do a lucha standoff spot. Lock up in the same spot again, twice. But Triple H about breaks his neck on one of those headlock takeovers.
Yeah, there's a lot of headlock takeovers in this match.
Yeah, oh my... Yeah, we'll fucking get to it.
It's a lot... the beginning of this match is a lot slower than I would have expected.
Yeah. And RVD misses a spin kick at one point. RVD poses, and he actually gets a mixed reaction, which shows just how fucking over Triple H was in 2002.
I can't stand it. Can't stand it.
Didn't Triple H get a pretty decent pop still? Like for his
Yeah,
entrance?
dude, Triple H is the fucking man.
He beat the fuck out of Shawn Michaels, yeah.
Dude, he beat Shawn Michaels so bad that Shawn Michaels can't come anymore. Lock up.
I'm going to avoid making the Austin Aries joke again.
You damn straight. Lock up in a headlock by RVD, but Triple H grabs his hair and throws him right down. Lock up and they trade hammer locks. Headlock takeover by RVD. Triple H rolls him up for a 2 count, and RVD gets that headlock back on. Triple H pushes Van Dam onto the ropes, and Triple H smacks RVD in the face, and RVD retaliates. Triple H fakes a lockup and kicks RVD right in the gut. Gets some punches by Triple H. Whip reverse, and Triple H shoulder blocks him. RVD does a splits drop down, and RVD goes to leapfrog, but Triple H holds onto the ropes. Triple H ends up rushing anyway, and RVD hits an arm drag and a side headlock takeover. 2 count when Triple H's shoulders hit the mat. Triple H gets his feet on the rope, and RVD breaks the headlock at a 4 count, and Triple H goes to the outside of the ring. Triple H goes to get back in the ring, and RVD does the Triple H water spit spot to a huge pop.
We had to, well, I mean, I guess it got a huge pop, but we had to go back to that promo.
I guess, and this pisses off Triple H. You can read his lips at one point. because they do a close up on him. He definitely goes motherfucker at one point. Triple H gets in and he gets hit with an arm drag and a side headlock takeover for a 2 count. RVD put into the turnbuckle and RVD goes for a clean break, but Triple H knees him in the gut multiple times. RVD whipped to the opposite corner and he does Booker T's corkscrew roll up for a 2 count. Triple H was like supposed to go for a jackknife cover, but he slips and RVD has to put Triple H into position correctly. RVD bridges up at 2. RVD goes for a backslide, but Triple H kind of reverses it and makes RVD backflip over him. RVD has a kick caught, but then he leg sweeps Hunter down.
Which I have to say, I wonder if that was supposed to happen. It felt like there was a bit of hesitation there, and it looks like there was a bit of a delay, and RVD just kind of threw something. I could be wrong, but that's just what it looked like to me.
Well, see, usually he does he misses a kick and then misses an enziguri, but lands on his foot and then hits you on the backswing.
Exactly.
But he did all that, and except for hitting you on the backswing, he just sweeped his leg.
To me, it looked like he might have lost his balance and just then went for something, basically.
Maybe. That gets a 2 count. We get a side headlock takeover for a 2 count.
Headlock takeover.
Jerry Lawler says exactly what I was thinking. Don't expect Triple H to lose the title to a headlock. Okay, cool. So why is that the only move RVD's been doing for the last 6 minutes?
Yeah,
of this match?
like seriously, like it's actually legitimately kind of ridiculous. This match was weirdly booked and weirdly technical, but I'll get into the technical aspect of it when we get closer to the finish.
Yeah. We get a back suplex attempt by Triple H, but RVD lands on his feet, ducks a clothesline, then he hits a spin kick. Triple H goes to the outside. RVD goes for a tope con hilo, but he eats shit because Triple H just moves.
Yeah.
Triple H.
Triple H just. I think he legit doesn't like RVD like for a shoot because this is like the 5th fucking time he hasn't caught him.
Well, at least this time it was planned. The other time he was supposed to catch him, and RVD about broke his goddamn nose hitting the mat.
Yeah, see, and I've seen other people who were around Triple H and RVD say like they just never had good vibes around each other.
Yeah.
Paul London even once implied that Triple H was jealous of how over RVD was, but that's what Paul London said, so,
Yeah. Triple H back in the ring, and RVD is just flat on the outside. RVD kind of gets back in at a 9 count because, like, he touches the apron, and the ref quits counting. But I feel like that should have been a 10 count.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even JR on commentary said that he thinks the referee gave him leeway because it's a title match.
Yeah, and I remember Lawler was like, "Fuck off." He was pissed. He's like, "Yeah, okay." And Triple H just starts stomping him. RVD has his face smashed into the apron and then elbow to the jaw. Both men on the outside, and RVD is whipped into the stairs. Triple H goes back in to break the count, comes right back out. And he does that just to throw RVD back in the ring, and then Triple H goes back in for a 2 count. Mounted punches by Triple H. He does the hangman on the rope. You know what I'm talking about? Is that what you call that move, the hangman? It's where like you catapult them and their throat hits the bottom rope.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I'm not sure if that's actually what it's called. It might be called the page.
Shut the fuck up, man. Oh my god. That gets a 2 count. RVD reverses a vertical suplex attempt and gets a victory roll for a 2 count. Neck breaker by Triple H for a 2. RVD thrown out of the ring and Triple H follows. RVD reverses and Triple H's head gets thrown into the SmackDown announce table twice. Triple H goes back in the ring and RVD follows. RVD gets some punches in. Whip reversed. RVD ducks a clothesline, but is hit with Triple H's signature flying knee for a 2 count. Every single creator wrestler in the SVR games had that move.
Oh, yeah.
The flying knee.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's why every fucking wrestler on the indies and in NXT and AEW does the fucking V trigger.
Yeah.
Triple H up to the second rope, and he does RVD's thumb taunt just for RVD to enziguri him like in the kidneys and then throw him down. Forearms by RVD, whip reverse, and Triple H gets in the sleeper hold, and RVD's fading very fast. RVD gets out by rushing the turnbuckle and then ducking at the last second. So Triple H goes headfirst into the turnbuckle. RVD misses a stinger splash in the corner. Triple H off the ropes, and he gets hit with a spinning wheel kick. Both men are down. They get back up. Triple H and RVD are trading punches, with RVD getting the advantage. Whip reverse, and Triple H goes for a back body drop, but RVD backflips over it. Triple H has a kick caught, and RVD hits a spinning wheel kick. He hits 2 of those, actually, and then a cartwheel into a moonsault by RVD for a 2 count. Whip to the corner and a rolling monkey flip by RVD. 2 shoulder blocks, back handspring. He misses the third, but he springs off the second rope with a flying karate kick. Rolling thunder for the 2 count. Triple H rolls to the outside. RVD immediately hits a pescado on him. Mounted punches by RVD. Triple H thrown back in, and RVD follows. RVD up top, and he hits the flying karate kick for a 2 count. Whip to the ropes, and RVD goes for a back body drop, but Triple H hits the knee face buster. Triple H off the ropes, and RVD leapfrogs him, and Triple H collides with referee Earl Hebner, and Earl flies out of the ring. And as much as I think Earl Hebner is one of the most overrated referees of all time, he always took really good ref bumps.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about this ref bump is that I remember as it was leading up to the bump, I didn't necessarily think to myself, oh, a ref bump's coming, but I more thought to myself, man, he's really getting in the way right now. Why is he so obviously in the way? And then
Dude,
oh, that's why.
Literally, I knew a ref bump was happening because I was like, Earl is standing super close to RVD right now.
Yeah, I'm like, he is going to get hit even if it's not intended. It's yep, and he did.
Spinning wheel kick by RVD actually gets the visual 3 count. Low blow by Triple H, and no one really sells it as a low blow, but JR says it.
Yeah.
But the crowd really didn't register it as a low blow because it was I'm not sure he actually hit him in the dick. And he goes for the pedigree, but RVD reverses and Triple H is catapulted into the turnbuckle. RVD up top, and he hits the 5-star frog splash, and he gets another visual victory. A real low blow by Triple H this time while RVD is trying to get Earl Hebner up. Triple H to the outside, and he gets the sledgehammer, and he comes back in, and RVD springs up and hits the Van Daminator. Ric Flair runs out to the ring, and he picks up the sledgehammer, and oh my God, he hit RVD in the sternum with it. Triple H is shocked. We get a pedigree to RVD. Ric Flair throws Earl Hebner into the ring, and Triple H retains the World Heavyweight Championship. Flair hands Triple H the belt. You can't hear him, but you can read his lip. He says, "You're the man," and he raises his hand. How'd you guys feel about this match?
I'm gonna let Damon go first because I'm waiting for him to flip the script still.
We're getting there. But I felt like this was one of those matches, the first half or so fucking dragged. And then after that, it was okay, this is good. Oh, they're getting their shit in. It doesn't feel like it's been an hour. So, I don't know. Not my favorite, but it's all right.
I feel like this match was too technical for its own good.
Yeah.
And I say that because, well, for one thing, that's not really RVD's wheelhouse. And it just felt like Triple H had more say in what happened in this match to me than RVD did. But that's just from an outside perspective, knowing their relative styles. But also, I think having a match like this where you're doing headlock takeovers and the head scissors and the kip up from the head scissors and all these moves that are very much very mat-based wrestling, I feel like that was very ill-conceived right before Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle go on. Because because to me it just highlighted how it made the match feel even worse in retrospect after I saw Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you guys. Technically, it's fine. The match was good enough. I didn't hate it. What I did hate is that they have RVD, one of the most exciting guys in wrestling at this time, only does a headlock for the first 5 minutes. And I get they got to build up the match. You can't just go in guns blazing because then nothing means anything. But I've never seen RVD do a fucking headlock once in my life, and then he does it here a million times. It's what are we doing?
It just felt like they weren't playing to RVD's strengths at all. Which is why I said it feels like Triple H, at least from my perspective, it feels like Triple H laid out most of this match. That's just how it felt to me. That's how it felt to me.
We cut backstage in the catering area, and D'Lo Brown and Billy Kidman are watching the show. D'Lo says that's why Flair's the dirtiest player in the game. And then some old-ass man in a suit comes up, and he says that's why you got to keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
I could barely hear him for a lot.
Oh, he was super quiet. And D'Lo says, "Oh my God, that's Eric Braeden from The Young and the Restless. I will bet anybody $500,000 that D'Lo Brown has never seen a single episode of Young and the Restless."
Come on, man. He's a big fan. I heard New Jack in a shoot interview said that he was watching that every day when they were working in Smoky Mountain. No, he did not say that. I'm fucking with
Okay,
you.
shut up, bro. What?
Rest in peace, New Jack.
Yeah, Eric Braeden. He's an actor. He played Victor Newman on The Young and the Restless from 1980 until when did he leave the show, guys?
I have no idea.
2015.
2003?
Dean says 2003. Damon, you say 2015?
Yeah.
This guy is still on the show. 41 years in this fucking biz, bro. God bless this man.
You know what, dude?
That he
And,
loves.
and I'll just say it legit. One of my best friends actually watches soap operas, unironically. And like, I'm not even kidding. Like, when I saw some of the shows he watched, I'm like, this is some shit my grandmother watched. All these shows are still on, but they are. They're all still going.
D'Lo and Kidman shake his hand. D'Lo says that the character Eric Braeden plays, Victor Newman, is the most conniving guy on daytime television. D'Lo loves that. D'Lo does have one question, though. He says, everyone on that show is fine. So what happens off screen? And Braden says, I can't talk about that. I've been a married man for many years. What a fucking worker, dude. You got to kayfabe the boys sometimes, dude. I get it.
Oh, yeah.
Kidman asks Braden what he's doing at Unforgiven. And Dawn Marie walks up, kisses him on the cheek, and says that he's with me. And D'Lo says, some guys get all the luck. Not a single person in that arena, including the people in this segment, knew who Eric Braeden is. Eric Braeden doesn't know who Eric Braeden is. What the fuck was this, dude? No one popped. No one gave a shit. Why was this a thing?
Well, see, I mean, because I want to actually tie this into more recent events, actually. So Bad Bunny was a part of WWE television for a period of time recently.
Yes.
And he's legitimately like one of the biggest music stars in the world right now.
Yes.
And I will fully admit, I and a lot of other people, when we first saw him, we were like, who?
Yeah, same.
And I want to emphasize, one of the biggest music acts in the world. So we go to 2002 when we're bringing on a guy from The Young and the Restless. There is no way in hell anybody knows who the fuck this guy is.
Right.
See, this entire time I thought you were going to defend him, and I was going to be like, no one was watching soap operas in 2002.
It's like, that's the thing though. Like, if so many people didn't know who Bad Bunny is, there's no way they knew who the hell this guy was.
Yeah, no one in that crowd popped.
Nope.
Our next contest, Trish Stratus takes on Molly Holly for the WWE Women's Championship. Story of the match: there really isn't one.
The story is Molly Holly's been off TV, and Trish has been winning, sort of. So title match, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess Trish and Molly have been feuding in a way because they've all been teaming with Bubba, Nowinski, Regal. But I don't really recall them ever having a one-on-one segment. There was that time that Victoria, Molly's friend, had a match with Trish while Molly was on commentary.
Yeah, and Victoria's been killed off screen, so.
Yeah, this match was just announced on the Go Home SmackDown with no real build. JR actually gives us more build than the show itself gave us. Molly beat Trish for the title just a few months earlier at King of the Ring.
And you know what the funny thing is? I actually, during this match, well, first of all, JR actually put this over. Which thank you, JR. Somebody has to. But even Jerry Lawler was like, "Oh yeah, these women are actually good wrestlers." And I'm like, "Whoa, Jerry Lawler actually commentating for at least for like 5 seconds anyway."
We get a lockup, and Trish gets a full Nelson and an armbar. Molly gets out by grabbing Trish by the hair and pulling her down. Wrist lock by Molly. Kip up and a wrist lock by Trish. Molly with a collegiate fireman's carry and a 2 count when Trish crucifixes her for her own 2 count. Both women get a 2 count there. Lock up and arm drag by Trish, and again. Then we get a drop kick and a neck breaker by Trish for a 2 count. Molly gets a big punch in. Whip to the corner, and Molly rushes, but Trish gets her feet up. Trish misses an elbow drop. Very nice looking snap vertical suplex by Molly for a 2 count. Molly throws Trish face first into the canvas, then to the outside, and Molly follows her. Trish thrown face first into the steps. then to the barricade. I don't know what the fuck. I think, throughout the show, they're usually like, oh, this pay-per-view is available in fucking 150 countries or whatever. And Lawler says something about Virgin Islands, and then he says that's where Molly Holly's from.
Oh yeah, well, that was.
And I said that's pretty epic. That's a pro gamer move. Trish thrown back in the ring, and Molly follows. We had a straight jacket headlock by Molly, and then a straight jacket bow and arrow. That was pretty cool. And then she gets a straight jacket camel clutch. I was like, yo, this shit's kind of different right now.
Yeah.
Trish reverses and throws Molly off. Basement dropkick by Molly Holly. Small package by Trish for a 2 count. Then a schoolgirl victory roll hybrid for a 2 count. Drop toe hold, and Trish hits her throat on the rope. I thought that was a cool spot. Whip to the corner, and Molly has a sidewalk slam reverse into a bulldog for a 2 count. Molly's getting some forearms in. Whip to the ropes, and Trish ducks a clothesline, then hits her chick kick for a 2. Whip to the corner, but Molly gets her feet up. Molly up top, but Trish hits the ropes, and Molly is crotched. Trish goes for the stratosphere, but Molly catches her leg, puts her in the tree of woe, and it goes on the outside and pulls Trish's arms back. I thought that was such a fucking good spot.
Oh, it was.
That was so cool.
Now, what Molly does afterwards is a little questionable, but
What? She does the cartwheel backhand spring elbow thing?
It's not even an elbow. She just hit her with her ass. It didn't even look like it barely hit her.
Oh, I didn't know Molly Holly was that athletic. That was really surprising to me.
Yeah, fair enough.
That move gets a 2 count. Whip to the ropes, and Trish tries to get some heat with Rey Mysterio because she does this wheelbarrow bulldog, and she actually wins off of it. That shocked the hell out of me.
Yeah, I did not think the match was going to end that suddenly. It really felt out of nowhere.
Yeah, Trish is now a 3-time women's champion. What'd you guys think of this match?
2 things drug this match down for me. One, the crowd, just because the crowd didn't give a shit, and I don't entirely blame them, but it's just disappointing because I actually thought the women here actually put on, like, they were trying to put on a match, but I just feel like the crowd didn't care. And also, I'm really getting tired of Molly's attire. I wish they'd just give her wrestling gear. I don't like that she keeps going out there looking like a soccer mom who's going to pick her kids up. But funny enough, though, I will say I actually like this match more than I thought I would.
All right, so this is the match that I pretty much hated, but
Okay.
I will say Molly put on some. She carried the match, which I think is part of the reason I hate it because they did her so dirty. Trish to me seemed sloppy and slow for most of it, and then fucking Molly. Meanwhile, she's killing it. There was no build up to this match. So really, you just have Molly lose for what?
You will see that's the other thing because she hasn't even been on television. You watch this match and you're like, well, Trish is gonna win.
Right.
Trish has actually been on TV, and it feels like they purposely deflated the champion.
Not only all that, but then it's like the end. Like, let's do a check kick or stratosphere or stratisfaction. But yeah, and then it's like some bullshit. Like, it's a cool move, but that's not what Trish is known to use for ending matches. So it just seemed way out of left field.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like I would have enjoyed this match more if it weren't for so many mitigating circumstances that drug it down. Things that weren't even entirely on Molly herself, but just things that unfortunately were part of the match, or things leading up to the match, or lack thereof leading up to the match.
Yo, this match fucked. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I loved this match.
Oh, I liked the match. It's just certain mitigating circumstances brought it down for me.
Man, y'all are shitting on it, dude. Imagine, dude, Molly Holly, if she came into NXT around 2015, would have been a fucking star.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Imagine her against Rhea Ripley, Asuka, Sasha Banks.
Oh, it'd be great. But we're not in that era.
I'm not
Bro, this match was so good, bro. Fuck you guys.
No, it was.
Awesome.
That's the thing. I'm telling you, it was a good match. It's just that the build and the finish and the crowd drug it down for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I expect you to say the same thing, minus the crowd, about Kurt Angle and Benoit, because the build was fucking stupid.
You see, here's the thing though. That build fucking sucked, but at the same time, I didn't feel like they buried the I didn't feel like they didn't bury one of them leading up to it.
Whatever, man. We're cutting
They
backstage.
They buried Molly. They did nothing but bury Molly leading up to this match. That's the thing.
And then she had an awesome match.
Yeah, and she got buried again.
She gets buried by losing
Yes.
to the most over woman on the roster.
Yes.
Bro, no.
Yes, because she's coming out looking like a soccer mom, going to pick up her kids from t-ball
That's her
practice.
gimmick, bro.
I don't care. She needs to put some goddamn wrestling boots on.
Well, you want her to be Mighty Molly again?
I would prefer that, actually.
Oh, my God.
I would legitimately prefer that.
We
like it's like freaking, and it'd be nice if Molly could win a match, like win some matches, like to build her up leading up to it. But no, only Trish has been on TV.
Yeah, no, she's a chicken shit heel, bro. She can't win. We cut backstage and we see 3-minute warning and Rico chilling with some beautiful women. 3 of them are the lesbians from earlier tonight, and I don't know who the other 3 are. Also, this goes into what Dean said the other week about Hollywood lesbians being more bi because they're rubbing up on dudes, but they're supposed to be lesbians.
Yeah, well, you know what, dude? It's 2002 land. Gay men, boo. Lesbians, well, you got to be bisexual, but yay.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't listen. It's June 1st as we record this, kickoff of Pride Month. So I'm not gonna get too controversial here, but I feel like this needs mentioned. Isn't Rico's whole gimmick being a gay stylist?
Yes, and
Yes,
that
it
really bugged me because a week or 2 ago, during the commitment ceremony, it was like, I don't want your good time girls, and now he's like, I'm gonna fuck them.
Well, okay, listen. I got a whole thing typed here. I know sexuality is a spectrum. Okay, there's no such thing as 100% gay or 100% straight, but WWE is not that nuanced, and Rico is definitely meant to be 100% gay, if not 1,000% gay. Or is the idea that the fans are assholes because they make assumptions about him just because he's flamboyant? Did WWE ever outright say Rico is gay, he likes men?
I think there's a case to be made. The biggest heel in this is the crowd.
Because I couldn't find anything. Wikipedia says that Rico was gay, but I can't find anything that WWE was like, yes, he is gay, he likes men, that is his character. I know for a fact they never said Goldust was gay. Goldust's face turn in 97 was when he literally said that he wasn't gay, and the crowd popped.
Yeah, oh god.
Anyway.
As a matter of fact, Goldust, well, I guess he kissed Ahmed Johnson, but that was CPR.
Well, the explanation was he did all that to play mind games.
Okay.
Anyway, Eric walks in with another girl, and he says the 3-minute warning are the best, and he couldn't have done this without Rico. Rico asks if they can, Eric says yes, it's Hollywood, and they can party on his dime. 3-minute warning, Rico and all the ladies leave, but Eric keeps 2 of the ladies with him. And he says, you got to help me with a little bit of HLA later tonight. We cut to black. We come back, and Taz, I don't know why, but he always calls women tomatoes, and that's funny to me because I don't know what it means.
Well, see, when he was doing his TNA run for a while there, every time the beautiful people would come out, he'd say, let the pigeons loose.
Oh, that's right, he would.
I was like, I don't know what that means, but okay.
Yeah, why is he calling them tomatoes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it, though. Taz says, it sucks that SmackDown lost, but he's a man, so he's going to like what happens. We get a shout-out to Adrenaline off the Triple X soundtrack as the theme for Unforgiven. We get a match graphic for Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit and a video package for Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit. And here we are, our next contest, if you couldn't catch on. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit, story of the match. Angle and Benoit have just been making fun of each other over the last few weeks. Benoit laughed at Angle when he got stink-faced by Rikishi, and Angle actually helped Rikishi stink-face Benoit. Both men have made each other tap with their finishes.
Yeah, I mean it's they built it up sort of kind of, but not really. If anything, that's the funny thing about this is that you'd think both of them would actually be more mad at Rikishi, but
Yeah, we couldn't get like a triple threat.
Yeah.
No, not with old Hildagard. We get a lockup and both men jockey for position. Neither man can get the clear advantage, and they just stumble out of the ring while they're still in their lockup. Both men back in the ring, and they stare each other down, which causes referee Mike Chioda to separate them. Lockup, and Kurt goes behind and drops Benoit on his stomach. We get some amateur wrestling on the mat, and Kurt gets a 1 count. Benoit goes for the crossface, but Angle quickly gets to the ropes before it can get locked in. Both men back up to a round of applause by the audience. Kurt shoots for the leg, and both men are on the mat again. Kurt goes for the angle lock, but Benoit gets the ropes before it's locked in. And I'm going to say this at the end of the match, but it's such amazing yet simple storytelling in this match. Lock up and a wrist lock by Benoit. Angle reverses with a hammer lock. Benoit tries a snapmare, but Angle actually rolls through and holds on.
Oh, that was great.
Lock.
I love that spot. I love that.
Benoit reverses with a wrist lock, and Angle does the same. Headlock by Angle, and he shot off the ropes and hits a shoulder tackle. Drop down, and Benoit goes for a hip toss, but it's blocked. So he says, fuck it, I'm going to go for the crossface instead. Angle reverses, and he goes for a fireman's carry, but Benoit rolls him up for a 2 count. Angle and Benoit then proceed to exchange about 8 quick near falls. And Kurt eventually goes for a clothesline, but Chris catches the arm and goes for the crossface once again. Benoit is very close to locking it in, but Kurt gets the ropes and he rolls out of the ring. Kurt eventually gets back in the ring and they kind of circle each other. Lock up, and Benoit again goes for the crossface, but Kurt gets annoyed and he says, fuck this amateur wrestling bullshit. I'm going to just toss his ass out of the ring. Kurt follows him out there, elbows to the back of the head, a stun gun on the barricade by Kurt Angle. Benoit thrown back in and Kurt follows. Benoit's getting stomped down. We get a backbreaker for a 2 count. And something happens in the crowd and people quit paying attention. So Kurt is very smart and he locks in a rest hold. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, I noticed that, but I don't know what it was.
Probably someone getting kicked out or a fight or some shit.
Something, yeah.
So the rest hold he locks in is like a reverse bear hug, and he grapevines his legs over Benoit's waist. Benoit starts grabbing at Kurt's leg, and he starts twisting the ankle, which makes Kurt let go of the hold. Benoit has a whip reverse and a kitchen sink by Kurt. Punches and kicks in the corner by Angle, shoulders to the gut. Whip to the opposite corner, and Angle rushes, but Benoit moves, and Kurt goes shoulder first into the post. And then Benoit actually grabs Kurt and throws him shoulder first into the opposite post. Back suplex in a 2 count. Benoit grabs Kurt's arm, and he just like fucking is clubbing at it to work it, beat it down for the crippler crossface. We get a short arm clothesline and knees to the gut. Benoit goes for another short arm clothesline, but Kurt ducks and goes for the German, but it turned into a belly to belly. Both men are trading knees, and Kurt finally gets the overhead belly to belly. Both men are down. They both get up at an 8 count. Benoit hits 2 German suplexes. He goes for a third, but Angle reverses to hit 2 of his own. Then Benoit reverses and hits 1. And then Kurt reverses and hits 3. I fucking love that spot. They're just big dicking each other with these fucking German suplexes. And then my man Kurt Angle gets the straps down. Yeah! Kurt goes for the Angle slam, but Benoit lands on his feet and he hits a German that lands Kurt on his stomach. He took a fucking backflip out of that.
That bump look, it sucked.
Benoit up top for Air Canada, but Kurt runs up and hits a top rope belly to belly. And I'm pretty sure recently on Kurt Angle's podcast, because he's trying to get into our fucking medium, he said that he never once practiced that move before the very first time he did it in a match. He was just so fucking good, he could just run up and not slip and hit that.
I can believe it. Yeah.
That gets a 2 count. Benoit gets a jackknife pin for a 2, but Kurt kicks out and he locks in the Angle lock. Benoit rolls through and boots Angle in the face 3 times to get him off of him. Kurt and Benoit trade essentially like tombstone holds. It looks like one of them's going to go for the tombstone. And Benoit ends up hitting a shoulder breaker. I need more shoulder breakers in wrestling. Love that move.
It looked nasty.
It was actually Rock's very first finisher in WWE.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I saw him hit it on fucking Goldust in like 96. Cutthroat taunt by Benoit. And he goes up top for Air Canada and he hits it, but it only gets a 2 count. Benoit locks in the crippler crossface. Kurt's about to tap, but he grabs at the ankle. And Benoit lets go, and now he's in the Angle lock. And Chris rolls through, and he's got the crossface in again. Angle rolls through, and he gets the Angle lock again. Benoit gets to the ropes, but he pulls Benoit off, and he locks in the crossface this time. And Benoit is so close to grabbing the ropes. And right as he's about to, Kurt uses his foot to push the ropes just out of Benoit's reach.
So this is actually my one major complaint with this match.
Hold on, real quick.
Okay.
Benoit rolls through this, and he actually gets a pin using the ropes for the 3 count, and Kurt Angle throws a tantrum in the ring.
Like only Kurt can.
Yeah.
So that rope thing was the one thing about this match where I was like, okay, well, Kurt Angle touched the rope break time, and they didn't really do it. Then again, that's just my thing about sometimes where like the heel touches the rope, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter if the baby not the heel, but like if the person who's not locked in the hold, like the person applying the hold touches the rope, I'm like, okay, no, you still have to break. Someone touched the rope though. It bugs me.
I feel like you're wrong on this one because Kurt starts pushing his foot on the rope so Benoit can't grab it, and Mike Chioda immediately starts yelling at him.
Yeah, but then it's like then he has to break the hold.
Well, there was never even a count because Benoit very quickly turned it into a pin.
That's fair. It's just at that point, like the ref should be saying, break the hold. But small detail with what was otherwise a good match.
So yeah, what'd you guys think of this match? Dean, you kind of already said it, Damon.
I mean, like we said earlier, it was pretty fucking good. I mean, there's what, 2 matches left? One. I'll just say this is the best match. Like that's my answer later. This was the best match on the card.
You know what? I love this match. And I have to say, I mentioned this during the RVD and Triple H match. This match made RVD and Triple H look even worse to me, because once again, all those headlock takeovers and all that like grounded wrestling, which does not suit RVD, looked even worse when you have Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle go after.
True.
And also, I have to say, this is my favorite kind of wrestling match. And let me clarify, not saying this is my favorite match in general, more saying this is my favorite kind of match. Like the kind of match where both guys don't just let the other person do the move.
Oh, definitely.
Like where it looks like they're fighting for everything they do. Like, it's not like, okay, time for the German suplex. It's like, no, I am not going to let you do this German suplex. And then the person gets a good position. Then they do the suplex. You know, like I really love when wrestlers make it look like they're actually like fighting for position.
Yeah, this match was so fucking good. Tremendous storytelling. And it was such a simple story. Both men know how dangerous and talented the other one is, but they got too much pride to ever admit it. I love the amateur wrestling in the beginning. Angle and Benoit were always great at making a pro wrestling match look like a legit fight, a legit struggle, which is what Dean was just talking about. There's a reason these two are known as some of the greatest technicians of all time.
Yeah, just a freaking blast. And it made RVD and Triple H look like shit.
Cut backstage to the interview set, and Mark Lloyd is interviewing Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. Lloyd says Brock is moments away from defending the title against Undertaker, but this match is more about the title. It's gotten personal. And Heyman asks, has it really gotten personal? Because I think it's always been personal. Paul Heyman says, anytime you try to take the title away from Brock, that's personal. Anytime you try to take away something Brock worked his entire life for, that's personal. And when you get personal with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman will get personal back. And then Brock starts doing the promo, and I'm like, oh, we should have not let him do this. Brock then says he is not sorry for what he did to Sarah, Undertaker's pregnant wife. He will also not be sorry for what he does to The Undertaker tonight. Because when you have no remorse, you have no problem being WWE Unforgiven 2002.
Okay.
Brock shoves Mark Lloyd and then leaves.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to comment on it, but you beat me to it. It's like, yep, he said the thing.
Yeah. Our next segment, Bischoff is out, and he's got the 2 ladies from earlier with him. Fink just announces them as the lesbians, and JR's pissed. He's like, yeah, nice introduction, Fink.
You know what, actually, and I'm sorry to go back to this, but even during the Billy and Chuck versus Jamal and Rosie match, literally when Michael Cole was running down Jamal and Rosie's victims, Michael Cole just said, their victims include lesbians. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they beat down Jeff Hardy, The Big Show, Mae Young, Fabulous Moolah, The Lesbians, Superfly Jimmy Snook. I'm like, wait, what? Bro, imagine going to the show with your fucking parents.
Ooh, boy.
Oh. Dude, like, it's already bad enough when, like, our dad would walk in and fucking Adam Rose and the Bunny are on TV. I can't imagine.
You know what, dude? Like, I gotta say, like, and this is just me being perfectly honest here. Like, I don't have anything against Rikishi at all, but like, I feel like if I was actually running the show, I'd be like, how about we don't do this? That's just me, though.
Dude, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about, like, Dean, would you really want to sit with your parents while two quote unquote lesbians awkwardly rub up on each other?
Well, no, because like that's the thing about it, is that there are certain things from this era of wrestling, which, mind you, I enjoyed this show overall a lot. Like, I've not made no bones about that. But my big thing is like, there are just certain things from this era of wrestling where I'm like, man, I would feel super weird watching this with almost anybody who didn't already know the thing.
Yeah. Bischoff says, I love you guys, talking to the crowd. He says that LA has always stood for Los Angeles, but tonight it stands for lesbian action. Hot lesbian action. Bischoff says he interviewed hundreds of lesbians from LA, and he wants us to meet Peaches, the brunette, and Cream, the blonde. Fun fact, Peaches was the wrestling name of Lori Fullington, the Sandman's now ex-wife.
Huh.
She managed Sandman and Raven at one point because Raven brainwashed her to join the Raven's Nest. Anyway, that's not the chick here. That they just have the same name. That had nothing to do with anything.
And I think, and in fairness, I think it was coincidental.
Oh yeah, they weren't like, bro, let's get Sandman in.
Yeah.
Bischoff says that the ladies are only here for HLA and they should give the crowd a sneak preview. They start rubbing up on each other, and right before they kiss, Bischoff stops them, and that gets the loud boos. He said, you know what? I changed my mind. He says the HLA will only be happening tonight with SmackDown's losing general manager, Stephanie McMahon. Lawler has fucking balls of steel because he says Stephanie's hot while Vince McMahon is in his ear.
Oh, well, you know what my thing is like, look, I'm just going to say it. If I was Vince McMahon, I'd be like, I am not letting my daughter do this on my damn show. Fuck
yeah, you. And then you remember that Vince McMahon's a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
He pitched doing an incest angle with his own children.
Yep.
Gotta
love old Vince. Gotta love.
He's not. Vince. All the marbles are not in his head. JR makes things even more awkward by saying that he's known Stephanie since she was a little girl. And I did the math. JR probably would have met her because he comes in WWE around 93. So she probably would have been 16 or 17. So not a little girl, but also still not legal. So yes, it is weird. And then Jerry Lawler says, well, yeah, Stephanie was a little girl. She may have had little, girl sleepovers. You nasty motherfucker. No wonder this fuck was indicted on statutory rape. Yeah, let's fucking talk about that. I did a little research. In 1993, Jerry Lawler was indicted on charges of statutory rape and sodomy of a 15-year-old girl. The charges were dropped when the girl admitted that parts of the story were fabricated. That being said, it's also well known that the people that wrestled in Memphis didn't exactly check IDs, if you catch my meaning. Anyway, Bischoff says he's been thinking about this for a long time. And Bischoff has 2 lesbians already with him because he remembered the French term ménage à trois, a.k.a. a threesome.
I actually read a webcomic called that for years on end, and then it ended. It was a shame.
What was it about, Dean?
It was actually... Okay, do you really want to know?
You can't tell me you read a webcomic and then not
it was
tell me
about
what it was.
A guy who was living with his 2 roommates, and it turned out they ended up being gay lovers. So, like, they moved out, and they were like, they put ads out for him to like get new roommates without his permission, and they literally wrote on it, "Must have cute butt" on the ad for the new roommates. And so he ends up like living with like 2 chicks for like the rest of the comic.
Nice.
Yeah. Never has sex with either of them though. Funny enough, despite the title of the comic.
Bischoff never said it would be 1-on-1, so it's gonna be a 3-way. Bischoff tells the lesbians to strip, and they take off their tops, and then they're told to take off Stephanie's jacket, and they do it. Then they give Stephanie a back rub, and then Bischoff orders a full body massage. And then Eric says, "All right, no more foreplay. I don't want any of you girls to be wet. That's gross. So we just want some HLA now."
Oh my god.
And right as they go to kiss Stephanie, Bischoff says, hold up, I changed my mind. He says, "Ladies, you're excused." And everyone boos. And he's like, hold up. I never said you were excused, Stephanie. Eric says that he wants this to be the most humiliating experience of all time for Stephanie McMahon. So he found, listen, his words, not mine, the most disgusting lesbo he could find. Can you say lesbo?
I don't think
you're supposed to say
I don't
that.
think you can say that anymore. No.
Well, listen, like I said, these are Eric Bischoff's words, not mine.
Yeah. 2002. Keep that. It's always something to keep in mind when you listen to our podcast.
Yeah, Eric brings out the quote unquote lesbo, and it is a much bigger lady in a purple dress. JR is so fucking done with this. Stephanie looks very scared, and Bischoff's laughing his ass off. He announces her as Hildagard. That actually popped me big. I was like, that's a pretty funny name, Hildagard. Eric says that not only is she a lesbo, that she's done prison time. What the fuck am I watching? Because the sure shit isn't wrestling. What the fuck is this, dude?
Well, dude, this once again for me ties into I would feel weird watching this if somebody like came in not knowing anything about these people.
Dude, wrestling sometimes just gets fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, this is why I'm just like, I'm sorry. I just would not put this on my show.
Yeah.
That's just me, though.
Hildegard starts rubbing her tits. Eric asks Hildy to lay the HLA on Steph. And then Hildegard and Stephanie start making out hard. Like they're grabbing each other's asses. And Bischoff is pissed. He goes, "What the hell is this?" And then Hildegard Savat kicks Bischoff. Hildegard takes off prosthetics. It's actually Rikishi and drag. Flying ass attack in the corner. And I think Stephanie and Kishi, like legit, I don't know if they made out, but they definitely touched faces because there is makeup all over Stephanie's face.
Oh, yeah.
After this.
Yeah, Stephanie was not being shy with Rikishi at all here.
No.
Because even after that, she's the one who hikes his trunks up.
Yeah, I didn't catch that until they replayed it. Yeah. We get a big sting face to Bischoff. Kishi and Steph dance in the ring, and Bischoff runs off disgusted. And I noted in the replay that Stephanie fucking pulled up Rikishi's fucking trunks and then spanked him.
Yeah, she did. So now we've got Stephanie doing things with Chris Benoit and Rikishi.
Dude, Stephanie's getting around.
Yeah, she is.
We cut to black after this, and we get the same "I was there" video from last week that's promoting the live events. We get a match graphic for Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar and a video package for Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Can you guess what the next match is? It's our main event. Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. The WWE Undisputed Championship is on the line. Story of the match. The night after SummerSlam, Triple H beat Undertaker to become the number one contender for the Undisputed title. Stephanie then signed Brock exclusively to SmackDown, so Triple H could not challenge for the title. On that week's SmackDown, Taker actually signed with SmackDown and won the Eliminator Series to challenge for the title. Brock and Heyman made things very personal during their face-to-face confrontation, and they asked Undertaker if he can really focus on a title match when he's got a pregnant wife at home. Brock at one point even put his hand on her pregnant stomach and said, "Life's a bitch." Things are now personal, and Taker said he will give Brock his first ever fight. Undertaker out, and you guys notice anything different about my man Undertaker here?
This fucking song.
He came out to the "You're Gonna Pay" song for the first time.
Yep.
God, that I always love the line. I typed it right here. Badasses always kick assholes' asses.
It's actually okay. So I want to see if you guys agree. That's actually my favorite Undertaker theme, personally.
It's of all time, all Undertaker themes.
I mean, I can't think of another one that I would say surpasses it.
Really?
Okay, what would you say is better?
Listen, I love this theme. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely top 3, at least. Probably number 2. But the Ministry theme?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That Ministry 3. Oh my god, dude, that theme goes so hard.
Okay, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
The bell rings and Brock and Taker get nose to nose as much as Brock can. because Brock's not a tiny guy, but compared to Taker, I mean, Taker's definitely got like 4 or 5 inches on him.
Yeah, he's like what, like 6'9" or some shit.
Taker?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gigantic. Taker shoves Brock away. Brock shoots for the legs, but he comes up short. Taker starts throwing some strikes, and this scares Brock off a little bit. Then this blood feud, this extremely personal match, starts with a lockup. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have to say the match was weirdly subdued at the beginning.
Yes. Brock kind of gets the advantage by shoving Taker off. They lock up again, and Brock once again shoves Taker off. Taz and Cole are putting over just how strong Brock is that he can shove a guy like Taker like that. Lock up, and Taker shoves Brock so hard that he does a fucking backflip through the ropes to the outside.
Yeah.
If Brock wants to make you look good, he will make you look like $1 million.
Oh yeah, like that's one thing is that you got to give Brock. I don't want to exaggerate, but like among big men, he might be the best big man seller ever.
Yeah,
I can't.
I thought Taker was pretty good in this match.
Oh
selling.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Brock is a fucking freak of nature. This guy. Brock is pissed that he just got shoved like that, and he marches back into the ring. Headlock by Brock Lesnar, off the ropes in a shoulder tackle, drop down in a hip toss by Undertaker. Brock clotheslined out of the ring to a huge pop. Brock is super over as a heel. People want to see him get his ass kicked. Brock is pissed, and he kicks the shit out of the ring steps. I feel like if he put his all into kicking those ring steps, he could have punted them into the 4th row.
Oh yeah, like when he did that at first, I was like, oh man, like it almost gave me like flashbacks to when he threw that.
Oh my god, he threw that car door and it hit a child.
Yeah, it's like holy shit, this could have gone really bad.
I was gonna say, dude, that child got off pretty well from that because apparently they immediately brought him backstage and let him meet all the wrestlers and gave him a bunch of free merch.
Oh,
AKA,
yeah.
please don't fucking sue us.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was fine. I mean, I imagine he probably felt sore the next day. He just got a fucking car door thrown at him
Yeah.
by Brock Lesnar. But I think he was probably fine. Brock goes back into the ring. We get a lock up, and Brock gets the advantage with a knee to the gut and a hammer lock. Taker reverses and hits an arm drag of all things. Very weird seeing Taker do an arm drag.
It is, especially like the way he's kind of out wrestling Brock in some spots here.
Yeah. We get a short arm shoulder tackle by the Take Dog. Knee to the gut by Brock. Shoulder to the gut in the corner by Brock. Whip to the opposite, and Brock rushes, but Taker gets the boot up. Taker ducks a clothesline and hits a flying clothesline of his own for a 2 count. Taker goes for old school, and he actually hits it. I did not expect him to hit it this early in the match. Whip to the corner, and Heyman's up on the apron just to get big booted right back down. And during that, Brock spears Taker into the corner twice. Vertical suplex to the Undertaker for a 2 count. How many guys have lifted Taker up like that? Because it cannot be many.
Yeah, they're few and far between for sure.
Like the only, like I guess Undertaker. Yeah, Undertaker suplexed himself. No,
That
I
would've
mean
been awesome.
Kurt Angle, I suppose.
Do you think he picked him up like that?
I guess. Then again, maybe not. Like I guess in my head, when I imagine Kurt Angle throwing Undertaker, I imagine a German suplex.
Because like the only other guy I can think of picking up Taker upside down like that would be Goldberg, and Goldberg dropped him on his fucking head.
Oh god,
that match was one of I legitimately considered quit watching wrestling. Anyway,
but it will never match the classic of when Goldberg faced the Fiend.
Oh my god.
Fuck you.
Punches and clubs by Brock. Boots to the gut in the corner by Brock. Brock grabs an arm and a leg, and he's pulling Taker ribs first into the ring post. I thought that was a cool spot. Boot to the head for a 2 count. Shoulder to the gut in the corner by Brock. Taker starts firing back with some soup bones. He has an Irish whip reverse and a big power slam by Brock for a 2. We get a bear hug by Brock. And there's a 2 count because Brock gets the bear hug onto the ground. He does a bridging, like German suplex type pin. Taker gets out with some elbows and some punches. Taker off the ropes, and a knee to the gut stops Taker right in his tracks. Belly to back takedown to the mat, and Brock keeps his grip. Get another 2 count when Lesnar bridges. Taker gets up, and Brock just pulls Taker back down to the mat twice. This kind of lasts a little bit longer than I felt it should have. Mm-hmm. Taker finally gets some steam, and he like kind of runs in a circle and then throws Brock out of the ring. Brock back, and he misses a clothesline. Taker starts getting in some good body shots.
But one thing I liked about those body shots too was that he kept like grabbing his arm and pulling it out of the way of the body before he'd land the punch.
Oh yeah.
And it just makes it look, it just little touches like that once again makes it look like you're actually trying to land punches and fighting.
Yeah. Taker punches Brock in the face so hard that Brock goes through the ropes to the outside. Taker to the outside, and he like so he like grabs Brock's head like he's gonna bulldog him on the floor, and then he kind of just like in that position like awkwardly throws him into the timekeeper's area. I don't know why he did that like that.
Yeah, it looked kind of weird.
Yeah. Referee Brian Hebner is distracted by Heyman, and Brock uses this time to grab the Undisputed title and hit Taker in the head. Brock rolls in to break the count and right back out. Taker has been busted open. Taker's thrown back in, and Brock follows for a 2 count. We get some punches to Taker. Boot to the face and punches by Brock. Brock digs his fist into Taker's cut to open it up more. That was a cool spot. Also like a legit thing wrestlers do. I think it's WrestleMania 17 Rock Blades, and Stone Cold wasn't exactly happy with it. So he threw a couple of punches to the forehead that were a bit snugger than usual to open it up a bit more. Because apparently Rock, he was about to leave to go do Scorpion King, so he didn't want any scars.
Oh, okay.
But Stone Cold was like, we could do a little bit better than this, though. And not scar you.
Yeah.
Taker starts firing back with some of those damned soup bones. Whip to the corner and a clothesline. Whip to the opposite corner and another clothesline. Taker with the goozle, but Brock elbows his way out. Brock off the ropes and he eats a big boot for a 2 count. Whip to the corner, Snake Eyes, big boot and a 2 count. Punches to Brock, some soup bones in the corner. Whip to the same corner he was already in, and that dumbass Brian Hebner gets crushed by Brock on the rebound. Why the fuck did you stand there, idiot?
Yeah, well, refs got to take a bump, man.
Yeah, all the Hebners on the show had to take a ref bump.
Yeah, and they were kind of obvious, too.
Yeah, Goozle and chokeslam to Brock. Taker gets the visual win, and then Matt Hardy runs in. I really did not expect that.
Hey, I told you, Matt Hardy and Brock Lesnar respect each other as valiant warriors. Brock Lesnar knows Matt Hardy was one of his greatest opponents.
Damn, I guess.
Look, I'm sorry, Matt Hardy, if there was a ranking on SmackDown, Matt Hardy would be number 3 on SmackDown right now.
Fuck off, dude. Shut up with that.
Truth be told, when, like, about halfway through this match, a few minutes before he does run in, I was like, wait a minute, wouldn't it be fucking funny if Matt Hardy
Matt
ran
Hardy.
And then it did. It did happen.
Yeah, well, Matt Hardy runs in and immediately gets clotheslined by Taker in a last ride.
Well, he
Brock,
he took it easy on Undertaker because he wanted Brock to still be able to
shut
shine.
up, bro, man. Come on.
I'm
man.
just saying.
Brock gets a big spine buster and he gets a 2 count. Punches and clubs by Brock. Whip to the ropes, and Brock goes for a back body drop, but Taker hits the DDT. I always loved his running DDT. I can't think of anyone else that does it like that.
It's really cool.
I think Kane might have done it a few times.
Yeah, I think so, but like I didn't ever feel like Kane did it quite as well, even when he did do it.
Yeah, Taker was able to. Sometimes it looked like he was floating in air for a second.
Yeah.
They get that DDT gets a 2 count. Taker with the cutthroat taunt. Brock lifted for the tombstone, but Brock escapes and pushes Taker into that Brian Hebner. We get a clothesline to Taker. Heyman tosses a chair to Brock. Brock goes to hit Taker, but he gets a snug big boot instead. And then Taker lays this chair shot in. Whew. Nasty.
You gotta sell that it's personal, man.
Yeah, and then he hits another one. That chair is bent like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my ass cheeks would fit perfectly into the indent of that chair.
God.
Like, it was bad. Both men on the outside, and Heyman is punched into the crowd. Brock thrown back in, and Taker follows. Brock's bleeding now. Whip to the ropes and a big boot and leg drop for the close 2 count, brother. Taker goes for the last ride, but Brock, like, back body drops him out of it, and Taker, like, damn near lands on his feet. Like, that's just how powerful Brock was. He, like, almost made Taker do a fucking 450. Brock rushes Taker into the corner. I'm sorry, I missed a part here. Brock goes for the F5, but Taker lands on his feet, and Brock sees that and he's like, fuck it, and he just picks him up and rushes him into the corner. The two of them are just brawling. Brock grabs Brian Hebner and he threatens to beat his ass, and then Hebner gets bumped a third time because of Taker, and the match just is called off. The refs are trying to break it up, but it isn't working. Taker eventually hits the choke slam on Brock. He throws Brock through the Unforgiven sign on the stage as the show goes off the air. What do you guys think of this match?
You know, I just want to say one thing about the finish, and that honestly, I would have honestly preferred if Brock just got the dirty win.
Yeah, the crowd did not like that this ended in like a bullshit no contest.
It felt kind of cheap, honestly.
To me,
it really felt like Brock's anger toward the referee was really warranted.
Yeah, I thought like, if they were like beating the shit out of each other, like with chairs or whatever, like they were doing while, who was it, Brian Hebner?
Yeah, Brian Hebner. Earl's, I think it's Earl's son, right?
Pretty sure,
not Dave's son, yeah.
Anyway, then that'd be one thing, but they were just fighting in the corner and the ref couldn't break it up. Like, what a little bitch.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I said that to Damon. I was like, or did I say that to you? Maybe I thought it.
I think I said it to you.
One of us was just like, bro, like, oh no, actually, we were watching World's Dumbest. Remember World's Dumbest on True TV?
Yeah.
This is kind of the same exact thing though. There was a cop on there that he got his ass kicked by two people. It's like, you should not have this job if you can't handle taking on fighting people if you really have to.
There's an entire discussion I could have about the police training for fighting, but
oh no, listen, bro, ACAB, bro, don't worry, but like, yeah, it was the same thing here. Brian Hebner can't separate two people. He shouldn't be a ref. That's kind of his job.
Yeah, and I guess my also it's like it just feels like it didn't feel like there was like Damon was kind of getting to. It didn't even feel like this or that was the most violent point in the match.
Yeah.
If it really was getting out of control, that'd be one thing. But the fact that it was just kind of like, it didn't even feel like that. It just didn't even feel like a logical point for a finish like that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of pissed me off at the end after the bell had rung. There's like 5 or 6 or so referees out there, and they're doing jack shit. They're just like, hey, stop it. No, don't do it.
Referees are so ineffective.
Yeah.
So that I thought the match by itself don't look too much into the finish, like the literal physical part of wrestling. I thought was good.
Yeah,
it was fine.
My one complaint would probably be, I think for the build up of this match, they started out a little too slow.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think they should have been more intense just from the get go, like from jump.
Yeah, they should have been brawling right before the bell rang. Like that's what starts it off.
So now with Unforgiven out of the way, we'll start with Dean. Dean, what was your favorite segment on the show?
Segment? Oh, wow. Okay. Damn, I didn't even think about segments. So it wasn't the HLA shit.
You sure?
I'm positive. It definitely wasn't Young and the Restless guy. I don't know. I guess maybe Rico hanging out in the back with the ladies.
All right, Damon, what was your favorite segment?
Just for the fucking weirdness of it, the Young and the Restless fuck.
I'm going to go with the Young and the Restless. I kind of liked that Eric Braden guy. He said, I'm a married man. I can't talk about that. I said, what a fucking legend, dude. Because he's getting so much fucking poo nanner on the side.
Oh, my God.
But he doesn't want to embarrass his wife too much and say that live on pay-per-view for all to see. Damon, we'll start with you. What was the worst match?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that.
The worst match? Let me refresh my memory here for a second.
See, I've actually got an immediate answer.
Okay, Dean, go.
It is easily Rob Van Dam and Triple H.
Really?
Yeah, easily Rob Van Dam and Triple H. Yeah.
I think I'd have to go with the 8-man tag.
Yeah, that'd be my thing. I was trying to think if there was
like at least RVD Triple H had a story.
I suppose so. I think like if we're talking about all context put together, yeah, probably the 8-man tag, but like I just felt like RVD and Triple H was more boring than it should have been. The 8-man tag at least entertained me for what time it had.
That's fair. Damon, what was your answer?
Oh, I agree with you. 8-man tag. I was trying to figure out if there was something worse, but no, 8-man tag for sure.
And what was the best match for you, Dean?
Okay, Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle. The funny thing is, before we got to Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle, my answer would have been Edge and Eddie Guerrero. But
That's fair.
But
yeah.
like I said when we were talking about it, Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit having a match where they don't look like they're actually cooperating. To me, that's just like my favorite kind of wrestling
Oh
match.
yeah. Damon, go ahead.
Oh, same. I said it earlier. Chris
Oh,
Benoit,
that's
Kurt
true, yeah.
Angle. Yeah.
If I had to, I want to pick a top 3. Number 1, best match on the show is Kurt and Benoit.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I'd probably have to go Edge Eddie. And then number 3, I'm not even fucking around. I would say Trish and Molly. I really liked that.
No,
match.
I agree. Actually,
Yeah.
that would be my top 3 too.
Yeah.
Well, now that WWE Unforgiven has been recapped, we will move on next week to Raw and SmackDown once again. I'm Trent, and for Damon
Good night, everybody.
and Dean.
Everyone, this has been Unforgiven.
We'll see you next time.